Time for a little bit of impact. Guys, I'm going to be honest here. I was surprised. Not at the outcome of the show. It was fine. It wasn't bad. Not about the storylines. Most of them are still going on, and some of them are right. Some of them are predictable, yes. What I'm surprised about, legitimately, I'm really surprised. The thing I didn't think I would have to talk about ever again. Production value. You guys know me. At least the ones that are still around. You guys know how I always talked about Impact Wrestling and their production value. That they needed to either work on their mics because the audio was bad, or the lighting was bad, or the ring didn't look right. Very rarely I talked about the ring. The main thing I talked about was the camera. Camera was bad a lot during the Impact time with Scott D'Amore. It is on his head, and it wasn't because the equipment was bad. It was because he told them to do this. He told them to do that. Or this. Or just stay tight and you see nothing in the ring. What did we just got across 4 matches? 4 matches. Mostly this. Or, let's talk about the Matt Hardy match versus Vincent. Tell me, what did you see? What did you see during the match? Delete. 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 What the blue fuck? This isn't because they're in a small venue in Sacramento, California. You see, I'm getting angry here. I didn't think I would ever have to bring up this gripe. And if anybody says, oh, it's because they're in that venue, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. It's due to the fact that someone in production was, you know what will make things really great? Let's zoom in really close to them and make it feel really personal. And when Matt Hardy is on screen, when he does his delete, do this. That is the most stupidest thing you could do. I didn't expect to ever have to talk about that when it came to this company. After Scott was gone, they had some issues at first for a little bit, which is understandable. New boss, but now they're gone right back to it. And I'm wondering, will we see this again when they go to another venue? And if we do see it again, that means 100% some freaking moron is so inept, thinking that we need to make it as exciting as possible, make the shots as tight as they can be, because then it'll be exciting. You stupid fucks. No one learned a lesson years ago when one of the major gripes, not just me, but anyone else was watching, it looked Bush League when they were trying to imitate WWE and they did it badly. And not even saying when Vince was there and he had them do this, made it good, because it wasn't. But my goodness, they have forgotten what they learned. And it makes sense, because Carlos Silva is not thinking like a wrestling promoter. He's thinking like an executive. That did, well, unless, I'll give him this. If he's not fully hands-on when it comes to the product's production, then he should be. Because that is sloppy. And if Carlos Silva sees me, which is a little no-known YouTuber, I would say, how you doing, Carlos? I've been reviewing TNA for many, many years. I've seen it in its worst time, and I've seen it when you had it, and it had been better. But don't go back to bad camera work. Don't imitate WWE. Do not imitate anyone. Just do regular filming. Full, wide shots. Wide enough you can see everybody. If you can't see anybody in the ring when they do the promos or when they wrestle, you take away from the people who are watching. Who's giving you this. Don't do that. Now let's move on. I know I just spoke almost 5 minutes. I'm sorry I had to do it as rant. What did we get? we get about 4 matches that were all pretty okay. Got a little interference in some of them. We got some building for what's going to come next. First match, Indy Hartwell versus Elena Black. Let's make this clear. Do I like Elena Black? Yeah. She's not a bad wrestler, and she's not a bad character. And I'm sure many people are going to say, well, you like Elena Black because of these. Well, who doesn't? Men and women like boobs. But has she been performing pretty well? Yeah. She hasn't done that badly when she was when she was in NXT and when she was in, well, the first time in TNA and now on the TNA roster. Does she need refinement? Yes. But she can talk decently well. She does have a good look. She can go decently well in the ring. And that's something you can't really 100% gripe her for that. She's not like up here. Let's make it clear. I'm not a huge Elena Black fan, but I can evaluate her fairly. And she may not be the top tier talent in wrestling. She's like here. She's not average here. She's above average. There's nothing wrong with that. Her own look, great pair of tits. She's pretty. She can talk pretty well. Has been not that bad. Now, mind you, I wish either... Let's make it very clear. I want the beautiful people to come back and put her over as a beautiful people now. Or a beautiful person. As a member of the beautiful people. I think that would be the best thing for her. Honestly. If Velvet Sky came back, that would help. The reason I would probably pick Velvet Sky over Angelina Love is not due to the fact that Angelina is not prettier than Velvet or Velvet's prettier than Angelina. It's not about Angelina being not as good of a wrestler as Velvet. Velvet was not as good as Angelina was. But I do believe with Velvet there that she was more of the heater than Angelina was because they're both beautiful women. But if you really compare the two, who was the heater between the two? It was Velvet. And since Ariana Black is more of a heater than she's just a wrestler, because she could become a manager flat out. She can be Casey Navarro's manager since they're actually dating together. She could be his heater, or anyone's heater for that matter. She's that damn good looking. So I thought Velvet Sky would be the best person to bring her in. And I think that would be the best option. Ask one of the two to come back and be the manager of Ariana. Let me get... the reason I botched the name is due to the fact I truly believe they would bring Angelina Love back. Because she was more beloved than Velvet, even though Velvet was more of a better heater than Angelina was. And I truly believe Velvet should be the one they would bring back. If they saw this, I would say, hiya, in my humble opinion, ask Velvet to come back for a couple of months, do some tapings with Elena Black, and put her over as the new version of the Beautiful People, the first new version of the 2020s. Let her take your moniker as a Beautiful People. Let her run with it. She has the looks and she's pretty good in the ring. She does talk pretty well. Let her do it. If you let her do it, at least it'll keep the legacy going of the Beautiful People moniker. That's just me moving on. She did not win. Let's make it clear. It was due to the fact that Ariana Graves, who was on commentary, who was annoyed at Indy Hartwell basically saying, oh, I got some more business with you. Not meant to be insulting her because I said to you, that sounds Scottish. No, not Scottish. Well, more Australian. Because Indy Hartwell is Australian. But that's what she said. I got some business with you. I'm coming for you eventually. It's going to happen. That's what she said. So she decided as she was on the top turn rope, right about to jump down on Indy again. Not Indy, Elena Black. She shoves her. And then the ref saw it. She jumps into the ring and DQs the match. And since she attacked, that means Indy won that match. And Elena did not. Elena just disappeared after that. Which, it kind of takes away from Elena Black. But I'm not too surprised because they're not really booking her very special right now. She's not really in any storyline. But Ariana Grace is. And her daddy comes out. She gets in the ring with her hubby. And he says, I'm sick of the son of a gun. If I could, I'd make you feel it. And then she makes it very clear this is all his fault. He makes it clear that she's nothing but a damn brat and has been influenced by this piece of dirt. And pretty much Daria Ray comes out and say, what are you doing? You know you cannot mess with any of the people here. Shut your damn mouth up. Get out of my damn ring and go. Now mind you, Daria did kind of address this later in the night because she made it very clear that you're so determined to be messing with your daughter and her man. I've talked to the board. Because she already said earlier, if you want to match with him, you got to go for the channels with the board and then set up a match. She said, you know what, because of what you've done, I'm going to give you your match. I already talked to the board. Next week, you and him. I kind of wish this would be saved for Slammiversary. Instead of just doing it here, doing it at this point. This is not the point if I like the storyline or not. It's not. It's an ongoing, long storyline that needs a good payout. Honestly, it needs a really good payout. And if they're going to do a payout, it should be at Slammiversary, not here. Unless they're going to do something screwy where he doesn't get the opportunity to face a Stacks, like he gets locked up in a room or something, and the time counts down, and he's considered disqualified or basically didn't show up. I could understand that. That would stretch it into the time for Slammiversary in June. That's what I hope they do. Because he doesn't get the opportunity to do anything. Either he misses his flight because Daria Ray screws him over, or he gets locked in a room where he couldn't get out, and by the time he can get to the ring, he was counted out. That would be the best way to do it. To prolong this long enough to make it mean something at Slammiversary, because Stacks has been doing this for months. Ariana Grace has been doing this for months. And Santino's been doing this for months. It makes no sense to blow it off here when they could do it at Slammiversary. Ariana Grace is not that important in NXT. Neither is Stacks. Yes, they're part of the birthright, but they're not the most important points. Just do it there. That's just moving on. Let me give it to you like this. You look at Dutch and Jeff handcuffed to the ring on the same side was kind of stupid. Because the match was about Matt and Vincent in the ring where Jeff and Dutch are chained, handcuffed to the ring. But then they have them both on the same side when it should be on the opposite side. Now, of course, they had to do it that way because they did not want to lose the chance with Willow, because we did get the Willow sighting. Willow did show up, screwed over Vincent, who basically, the ref got screwed because of him, went to get the key, lights go out, Willow comes on. Well, it's not a parasol. What would you call the umbrella? I forgot what they called the umbrellas back then. Parasols for women? Because it looked like a woman's parasol, but it was an umbrella. He hit him with the umbrella. But the point is, it could have looked a little better. Was the match alright? It looked alright, but I gotta admit, you tell me below. Next to the camera work there being really bad, did Matt look out of shape a little bit? Because I'm wondering, he looked a little bit out of shape. He did. And I'm not even saying Matt hasn't been keeping himself in shape, but if TNA, because either he was very tired, but I know he's going to be at Hog. I think he's already done this show for Hog. House of Glory. JD's promotion. Either he's going to be doing it, or he already did it. So maybe he was tired, because he looked a little tanked. Because I know that Jeff has been doing very well, keeping himself in shape, and so is Matt. But he looked tanked a little bit. He really did. He looked kind of tanked. He did well, but he looked tanked. You guys tell me below. Now, next match. Mustafa Ali versus Chaz Hill, the Star Boy. Why? What? I might have missed something. That first segment they had for the Open Challenge, where they showed it, and they showed it on a screen, where Ali was there with a crowd of reporters. What happened to that? I was perfectly fine with this if it stayed that way. But Starboy comes in, no fanfare, they just set up the match. They went away from it. They literally made a open challenge at least a little bit interesting because they gave it some spectacle. They made it was an open challenge still, but still it was set up that way to at least have a spectacle connected to it, have something connected to it. And unless I missed it, which maybe I did, tell me if I missed that the second time they did it, because they haven't done it since. And then we get Starboy, which I'm not really fond of. Yeah, he's in NXT right now. At least once he's been seen at NXT and he's on Evolve, which I don't watch. Am I interested in him? No. He doesn't feel interesting. He feels very vanilla. Don't like it. They need more with him. He needs more. As a wrestler, he was alright. And I didn't expect him to win. He did. But now... Oh, it's not 4 matches. Why did I say 4 matches? I mean 5. There are 5 matches. Five. Sorry, I said 4 earlier. It's 5. Because this match needed something. It needed Lin Yang Li at Jada Stone, fine. She did an okay match. She's not one of the best workers. I'm being honest here. I know people love the Spark, but the Spark needs more to be balanced. I'm being honest here. She's not a bad, high-flying female wrestler. She's not. But the Spark needs more. And it's not because she got small ones like this. No. She needs to be more like Kiana Hogan. If you remember her. Miss Fire Red from Hotlanta. The girl was a good wrestler, but she had personality. And when I look at Jada Stone, she doesn't have personality. If anybody says, oh yes she does, no she doesn't. No, because personality goes with psychology of the ring. And many high flyers like Pac, he understands that you need to have personality. Selling for a move is one thing, but having personality to go with selling with that move and putting someone over is totally different. And she doesn't have it. And it doesn't mean I hate her. I think she could learn it. But right now, she doesn't have it. Now, mind you, she's only been on the roster for a little bit, nearing a year now. Like 6 months to 8 months in a year, I believe. She needs more work. Just like when it came to, well, you look at Leon Slater. He had the gift of gab, but did he have the charisma he needed? Yeah. But he did not have the presence in the ring. He was a great high flyer, but he had to learn to have presence. He had to learn to make himself relevant with psychology that Hardys taught him. Because it wasn't always about him jumping into that ring and just getting it done. He had to learn how to have more presence. That the psychology is that you do the match, but you got to show emotion. You got to have something more than just being able to talk outside, which was important. And he can do it. But he needed more. And that's what Jada needs. This is just me. She lost the match. Zaya Brookside has it already. She's been there for more than a few years. She developed it. She didn't have it when she started. Trust me on that. Zaya did not have any personality. Even when she tried to start showing that she could go crazy, when she was with Rosemary, she still didn't have it. After working with Lin Yang Li for a while, and then being in the Angel Warriors, not saying that Lin Yang Li helped her with it, maybe she did, but she finally developed a good personality of a heel. Because as a heel, doesn't mean you're good. A lot of times you could suck as a heel. Moving on. Now, let's talk about what happened at the rest of the show. Did I care about the system? Them winning? Cedric Alexander winning, of course. He had to win. At least that's what they think. I don't understand. Leon could have kept that title. He could have broken Austin Aries' title run. And I think he should have. At this point, after 14 years, I truly believed he should have broke it. I think it would have been alright if he had broken that title. And it's not the point that he's going to be inducted. It's the point that he could still be recognized as a legend in TNA. And if he doesn't go in the Hall of Fame this year at Bound for Glory, I will rant my ass off. Because then it made no sense for Cedric to have that damn title when he could have broken it and then a month later he could have dropped it. At least then he would have set a record. But no, I'm just saying. Did they sound good? It was fine. But the Archer, Archer, I can't remember his name. Giovanni Vinci. Former Giovanni Vinci. I will remember his name eventually. This is like the second and third time I've seen him. I will eventually get his name down. Let me give it like this. Am I interested in seeing him as his first opponent for Cedric? Well, you got to go for Leon first. If they just drop it because Leon couldn't be there, I understand. If Leon couldn't be there because he had to go back to Europe, there was a situation, fine. I understand why Leon had to drop it. But if Leon's still there and they don't give him a rematch, and it's the Giovanni Vinci, formerly known as Giovanni Vinci, and he does it, and Leon is like, well, I'll get my chance later, Raz. That was stupid. But we don't know yet. Maybe it's due to the fact that he's not. Well, I know that his contract is nearing its end. So either they dropped it because they're renegotiating his contract, or he may go to WWE, which will be a big mistake. There's a lot of high flyers there, and I do not believe he's going to get a fair shake. I'm sorry. If he goes to from TNA to NXT, he will regret it. They may treat him pretty well in NXT, but look what's going on with Evans. I do not believe that this is going to be good for him if he goes to that roster. I don't see anything good for him in WWE right now. I just don't. He'll collect a paycheck. They'll bring him out when they just need a high flyer. He's not going to be able to continue keeping himself in shape because they're not doing that many live events anymore. Yeah, I did hear the rumor that they may be bringing back live events, but in a limited form. That doesn't work. No one's saying that all live events should go up to almost 250 days. At least 100 to 150 days for the year. That would be good to keep them in shape, because you can tell the wrestlers just don't look sharp anymore in WWE. The stories suck because there's very few of them, and the wrestlers just do not look good. And I'm hoping that's not the reason he's going to go. But it's just me moving on. Let me give it to you like this. Do I care about the feud beginning to build with AJ Francis and Elijah? I don't know. It's going to kind of how they're going to book this, because Elijah does not want to work with AJ Francis, even though AJ just wants to work with him musically. I don't know. Now, he already said he's going to pay for that. The question is, how is he going to pay? Is he just going to beat him up, or is he going to try and outperform him in music? That's going to be the interesting thing. Could he if they do this, instead of doing what they did with Joe Henry, they actually have two guys who are musically inclined, allow them to do it. That's going to be the question. Now, let's go to the final match of the night. How did I feel about the rematch? Did it work? Here's the thing. Seeing that Eric Young came to Macklin to talk to him and he looked like this. Seeing that Daria Ray talked to him and he looked like this. And then waiting for him to get into the ring and he's like this. And then gets his ass kicked. And pretty much Santana holding the title up, and it's in my face right now looking like that. What did we get? Did we get something important? No, we did not. But the question's going to be not that we didn't get anything important. What does this mean for Steve Macklin? What are they going to do with Steve? Because understand this. He renegotiated his contract. He's staying in TNA. He chose not to go and maybe join Deonna Purrazzo, his wife, who's in AEW, where he probably looked at the landscape there and going like, okay, I can have some relevance here in TNA, but if I go over there where the roster's huge, the only thing they make you do is wrestle. They don't really have a lot of storylines. Maybe I shouldn't go. That might have been the reason. But the thing here is not going to be about him losing to Santana. It's going to be, what are they going to do with him now? Is he going to join Eric Young in the Cleanse? Is he going to be doing something entirely different? Will he join the system? Could he join Ali? Because at this point, I think the only option he has left, because he could try and get the international championship away from Ali, but then it wouldn't make much sense having a heel versus a heel. Unless they're going to turn him face again and to straighten his ass out, the only option would be for him to join a faction, either the System or Order 4, or he would join Eric Young. Because I don't see anything else other than him turning face again, going to Tom and apologizing and trying to make up for what he's done. Because as a run as a heel, unless there's something else going on we don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Unless they're going to release him, which he just renegotiated his contract. He's staying. So I don't know what it is. So the match, was it good? Yeah. But did it work? I don't know. We got to see what they can do with Steve. And I hope you enjoyed this TNA Impact Wrestling review. Please give me a comment below. Have a good day. Have a good night. And I will be doing my Double or Nothing review. Unless something happens, it's coming out. Peace.